Well, I've come down to the port in Palma today to greet one of the, well, not one of, it is the biggest cruise liner in the world. This is Wonder of the Seas, part of the Royal Caribbean International Cruise Ships, and it's paying its inaugural visit here to Palma today. I think we're going to see quite a lot of this ship over the next few months, calling in, doing its Western Mediterranean cruises. It is the biggest cruise liner in the world, weighing some 236,857 tons. It's huge. It's 362 meters long and it's 664 meters wide and 18 stories high. What a monster that is. Cost 1.2 billion euros to build, and it can hold up to 7,000 passengers. It's not the only one in, because right next to it we've got Mein Schiff 2, another huge ship, and there are two more in Palma today. Bit of a controversy about having all of these ships in at the same time, the amount of pollution they cause, but they do bring a lot of money. Tried to get a little bit closer, see if I could get some really close shots, but all the areas where I would normally go to have been cut off, and so this is about as close as I'm going to get. What an enormous ship though. Well, I couldn't find a good vantage point down below, so I've come up to Jacuzzis, which is in Hanover where we live, and we've got a sort of a bird's eye sort of view from here, and we can look down on this Wonder of the Seas, as I think it's going to prepare to depart soon. So just a little bit more information about this ship. It's got 22 restaurants, 11 bars, 6 swimming pools, 10 jacuzzis. It's got an ice rink. It's a ship with an ice rink. An aquatic theatre. I'm not sure what an aquatic theatre is. And it's even got its own shopping centre. So it is something really special to be here in Palma. It's the first time it's been here, and it's going to be doing Western Mediterranean cruises, so we're going to expect to see it in and around Palma quite a lot. But it's a huge vessel, and Mein Schiff, which was across from it, the TUI ship, is also a huge ship, but by comparison this one is a lot bigger. Just nearby there's another one, another big cruise liner. If we just pan across a little bit, you can see there is actually no comparison in size. This one, this Wonder of the Seas, is double the size of that. And the Mein Schiff 2 is actually still in Palma, but you can not really see it very well. It's just in front of the Wonder of the Seas. You can just see the top of it there. So very impressive, and hopefully we might catch it going out shortly. One of the things people have been complaining about is the amount of pollution that these ships put into the atmosphere, and the Wonder of the Seas has been moored in Palma all day, and it must be generating its electricity by having its engines running. So they've been running all day, and there's been smoke coming out of those chimneys at the top there all day. Still no movement, it's still there. I've been waiting for quite a while now. It's now nearly half an hour after it was scheduled to leave. Oh, now we're just beginning to see a tiny little bit of movement, very gingerly reversing out there. Don't want to scratch the new paintwork, I suppose. So it's actually got to squeeze out of the port now. Don't think I'd like to be in charge of that. can hold up to 7,000 passengers, but it's not at capacity yet. Not sure whether that's just because of COVID rules or whether they just haven't sold the places. But between 4 and about 6,000, I think, is what's on board. There's 2,300 crew. And now it's starting to move a little bit quicker. Put it into reverse gear now. Still going very, very slowly though. Just to the left there's another cruise liner which they're going to have to miss as they go out of the quite small aperture that they've got to go to, considering the size of the ship. Seems to be moving all under its own steam. Can't see any tugboats. Or are they a thing of the past? In years gone by, we used to be able to walk along the pier there and used to be able to get very close to the ships, but I think since some of the terrorist attacks on certainly the American ships, they've restricted that you can't actually go along the pier on the side where the ships are anyway. I discovered today you can go on the other side, but you've got no view of the ships from that side. We were in Portsmouth a few years ago watching the HMS Queen Elizabeth enter and leave, and it's all very slow movements. Really is going very, very slowly. I imagine something like that takes a long way to stop. You can't tell from this angle how big the gap is. It's not big considering the size of the ships. Nearly 240,000 tons of ship there moving through the water. just now leaving the port. Stern first. Nearly out now. Captain will be able to relax soon. And it's just about in open water now, so be able to swing round and start heading towards the next port. See some movement in the sea at the bow, so you might have a bow thruster on there now just to give it a bit of assistance in turning. going to be sailing off into the sunset by the looks of things. Now I should be able to take it out of reverse gear and stick it into forward gear. I don't know how well it shows up, but there's a lot of smoke coming out of that chimneys, a set of chimneys at the top, funnels. Now you can start to see a little bit of wake at behind, so I think must have started in the forward motion as Wonder of the Seas leaves Palma for the very first time. Well, thanks very much for watching from Navigator, right up above Palma.